What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 257. My name is Harrison, and I am joined by my brother Nick. And also a very special episode because we have a sponsor. It's brought to you by Saratoga Water.
Saratoga Water. Wake up at 3 a.m. and drink it.
Wake up at 3 a.m.
Sorry, don't drink it.
Yeah, you splash, you dump your face in it.
Yeah,
for those who don't know, if you watch Ashton Hall on TikTok, you're gonna have an incredible laugh. He's very serious. He's definitely like a finance kind of bro type. I don't know what he does. I don't know. There's like a clip of him saying like you should definitely purchase 10,000.
We gotta get 10,000, bro.
Yeah, we gotta get 10,000. Like whatever the hell that means. I have no idea. But it's super hilarious. There's also another guy, Andrew Walls, on TikTok that does like the Target, like come do a Target run with me. It's just like very it's just very
it's very like American Psycho.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, it's
like the
insane.
new thing.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like if you were online at all over the weekend, you saw this video because it has like 600 million views on Twitter.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely, and there's like one where like he's like doing the same thing and like he like drops the water bottle, but he has a camera conveniently set up at his feet, and then like it falls and breaks, and then like
it's so perfect.
His assistant or girlfriend or whatever picks it up, and then like it's like, bro, you don't do anything from like 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then you don't even cook your own meal. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
he journals for like an hour. He stands outside on the balcony for like an hour.
What did you see that same video where like he jumps to the pool like he's technically in air for 4 minutes? It is the dumbest.
And then someone else cooks him breakfast at 9 a.m. Like, come on, man! Like that is such an unproductive morning.
Yeah,
for waking up at 3 a.m. and achieving absolutely that's so crazy.
And then putting on like full Rolex and a gold chain, like
before getting in the pool.
Jumping in the pool and doing like a heavy workout.
Have you seen like his other videos where he has like bodyguards outside of his door and he they drive him to go on a quick run and like drive beside him and hand him
like
water bottles
like that. What the hell is
it? Like the weighted vest thing?
Is that what it is? Okay, I wasn't sure what it was. I thought it was just like a overly small, like I don't know.
I think it's weighted. I think it's a weighted vest.
It has to be.
Yeah,
that's what it would have been. Well, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, if you're in need of a good laugh, just Google it. And then there's so many parody videos, and then like on Twitter the whole weekend, like there was like someone from Japan did the same thing, and they're like Japanese version unlocked, and it's like we've got a Korean one or like a Muslim one or something. It's been it's all that one weekend.
I'm sure Saratoga's sales are just like spiking this weekend, and they're like, what is going on? What did we do?
Either that or they had to sponsor him. They had to like
no, because you have to disclose if you're sponsored.
That is true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe he just really likes that water brand, but they just got the best free marketing. That
I mean, 600 million views. You said.
Yeah, and people are buying the water insane. Just parody or just for the meme of it. It's like, dude, that's crazy luck.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like that though. Some
I mean that's like the marketing that every company wants is like someone marketing for free, like that viral type marketing.
And then you send them like some free swag or something. Like, hey, thanks, bro. Thanks for the free marketing.
Thanks, man. You just made us
just hilarious stuff. But yeah, we've got potentially, I mean, we've had a great week of video games. You know, Assassin's Creed Shadows came out last week, which we have both opted to pass on for now. You know, we did talk about. I do want to play it. I've heard some positive things about it. Good. It sounds like it's very more of what we've been kind of getting with Assassin's Creed as of late. Maybe coming from Valhalla, which was just so stupidly long. Like it seems like it's toned back a little bit, pulled back a little bit from that, but it's still like, you know, it's still the massive Ubisoft map. But all the stuff sounds really cool. Like they have like Naoe is like the ninja, and she's kind of your traditional Assassin's Creed protagonist. She is the assassin. And then you have Yasuke, which is just like this big hulking guy that just like breaks through doors. So it seems like the combat is pretty different. And I think like Yasuke, I don't think he does any parkour or anything like that. Like he's not going to be getting up on roofs or anything. Not that at least what I've heard.
If he can, it's like very, it's probably like a giant climbing. It's like not very nimble.
Yeah, so it sounds really good, but yeah, just there's so much to play right now, and then obviously, Xenoblade came out last week, but we'll talk about here in a little bit. But maybe a Switch 1 Direct this week. We'll give our predictions for that because I don't know. I think we both think that it's definitely possible on Thursday, unless they could shadow drop it. So I don't know. We're kind of just in an interesting time with Nintendo where. For the most part with Directs, you can always look at the past and they usually co-align with each other. And now it's kind of all over the place. So it's an interesting time for them.
And it's weird because the Switch is still doing so well.
Yeah.
So, they want to, I think they're going to continue to put out Switch games throughout the next year. At least until Pokemon Legends ZA. And that's later this year. So they're going to support the Switch even when the Switch 2 is out, which means that they need to have they need to show games that are coming. They need to show the slate of games that are coming for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be like I think it's going to be like the how PlayStation 2 and 3 kind of generation was, where the Switch 2 is obviously going to not have any issues with sales, but I think there's going to be a lot of games that are going to be, like you said, made for Switch probably for years to come. You could still all the indie games are still going to be able to run on Switch for the most part. All that stuff is they're going to make games for that for years and continue to sell the Switch, and maybe they do a price drop. We assume so. Get that thing as cheap as possible that they can afford to, and then sell more units, and then continue to sell all the big games that come out every year, Just Dance and all that stuff.
Yeah, like Silk Song, that's definitely going to come to the Switch 1, even though it's probably going to be re-revealed with the Switch 2 or something of that manner, kind of aligned with Switch 2 marketing. But it's still, it's still going to come to Switch 1. I'm sure there's a lot of other games that are going to double dip in that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there'll be two versions, or we don't know until next week how that stuff is going to work, and hopefully they do a good job of explaining that information on cross gen games. But we'll talk about that here
for them. But
we'll talk about that here in a little bit when we get into the news section. But Nick, before we dive into what we've been playing, how was your week?
Week was okay. My wife had to work most of this weekend.
Oh, thanks.
Just crazy stuff going on at her job right now. But I spent a lot of time playing Xenoblade while she was working. Which I would much rather do stuff with her. But she was working, so I was like, okay.
What else are you gonna do?
I'm gonna lock in for a little bit.
I'm gonna lock in. Scale, yeah.
I'm gonna do my own kind of work over here.
Yeah, I'm working.
I am working. So that's what I did most of this weekend. Actually,
cool. Well, I can't wait to hear your impressions, because I have had the opposite end of what you've had with Xenoblade.
Yeah. And just real quick, we on Friday night we watched. Have you heard of the movie called The Substance?
No.
It won a bunch of awards. Basically, it's kind of like a body horror / horror movie. The premise of it is there's this aging actress that's kind of reaching the end of her career, and she has this workout show that's she's getting replaced with someone younger. They want someone younger to come on, so she takes this pill, or not this pill, but this injection called The Substance, and it essentially creates a younger version of her that comes out of her body, but it's a different person, and every 7 days she has to switch with this body, and meanwhile whatever she switched out of, that body's just laying on the ground as a as a corpse, and she has to like continuously feed it fluids and stuff.
Weird.
But every 7 days, you have to switch into like either the younger version or the older version, and it just kind of gets really, really weird because I don't want to spoil it, but like
Yeah.
The
It's got Demi Moore in it.
the duality gets messed up in huge ways between the two, because you're not supposed to go over 7 days in the other body, and if you do,
something happens.
Things start happening, and
Gotcha.
and God, it's a gross movie, but
like body horror type stuff.
yeah, like
Okay.
kind of like body horror stuff.
Okay.
But very, I mean, like I thought it was really good. I wouldn't watch it again, but it was it was.
There are some of those movies out there that I just like. Hereditary is one of those that I'm not going to watch that movie. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I want to see it though.
It is. I'll give it. It's one of the greatest horror films ever made, and I will never watch it again.
What is it about it that makes it so repulsive?
Just it is. So I mean, I don't really want to spoil anything, especially if you haven't been spoiled. But basically, yeah, I'm not gonna say that. There's. It's very like, it's extremely visceral. Like just the way that director directs is like, I don't know. It's just very like up close, and like
they like show they show things that normally people wouldn't show.
Well, not even that. Like it's not like overly disgusting, like as far as like body horror or like maiming or anything like that. But the stuff, I don't know. It's just one of those. It's one of those movies also where like there's stuff that you don't see the first go around. Like you wouldn't notice it until, and I've seen like clips since then. But something like there might be somebody standing in the background that's very obvious that you just don't see until it's pointed out to you. And like, it's just like that instant, like, oh, like, the shivers down your spine. It's very good.
Okay. So this director also directed Midsommar, which I've seen.
Midsommar. Yep. Okay.
And I know exactly what you're talking about when you say visceral.
Yeah.
Because I would also never.
I have not seen that movie because of how like disturbing Hereditary is.
Yeah, dude.
And this one's like, I think tonally, well, I don't know about tonally, but like as far as the atmosphere goes, is a lot darker. Like the movie is just darker than like Midsommar. Because I know Midsommar's pretty like a brightly shot movie, right?
Yeah.
This one's like much darker.
Okay.
In terms of like the film
that makes
goes,
me
but, yeah.
both want to watch it and not touch it at all.
Yeah, and I do need to see Midsommar, but yeah, Hereditary it is a very uneasy movie. You don't feel good after finishing it. It's one of those movies where like you definitely need to throw on, I think you should leave or some stupid comedy after just to like cleanse your mind, cleanse your palate a little bit.
All right, well, you sold me on it.
Yeah. Have I? But yeah, it's good. Anything else you do this weekend?
No, not really.
Cool.
How about you? How's your weekend?
It was good. I mean, Thursday. So I had a very, very interesting situation with Best Buy. So, and I never had a problem with like pre-ordering a game, which is why I usually just go to Best Buy, because Amazon I've had major issues with pre-ordering stuff. It never comes on time. So Best Buy, the day of, I get a notification, hey, your order's running late. I'm like, great. Or something like that. And I'm like, okay. And then they said, oh, it's going to arrive tomorrow. I'm like, whatever. I could wait a day. It's not a big deal. I'll just continue playing Metaphor. So I was totally fine. And then I get the notification that says, hey, your order's been delivered. And I was like, sweet. Not bad at all. It was like, I don't know, 11 o'clock when it got delivered. Opening up the package, ordered from Best Buy. There's a pre-order incentive for getting it. All I got was the pre-order incentive. The game was not included. So I went back and looked at the order, and it said, because it whenever you pre-order something for Best Buy and there's like a pre-order bonus or whatever, they'll show two separate order lines. So it was like, that one got ordered. I didn't notice it, but the game itself got delayed. So I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, whatever. So I got off work. I went to Best Buy. I said, hey, like, I got the thing. Do y'all have a copy and you can just cancel this? And they said, well, we don't have a copy here. I'm like, all right, Best Buy. I hate going to our local Best Buy. It's like just kind of a mess. Their game section is pretty terrible at this point. So I was like, whatever. I went to Walmart because I had to grab something. They had it there. And then I was like, well, maybe I can just cancel it. And then I was like, well, I'll just go to GameStop, see if they have it, and then I'll just cancel it before I go in. So I canceled it. I was able to cancel the order. Still keep the pre-order bonus. I mean, because whatever, it doesn't matter at this point. And it's just like a little metal, like, I don't know, metal poster that was like kind of scratched up pretty significantly as well, which was kind of shitty. So I don't know what's going on with Best Buy, but got the game nonetheless. Canceled the order, and that night for about and Kellen ended up spending the night at our parents' house that night on Friday, and then Kaylee spent the night at her friend's house. So we actually went out that night. So I played about 50 minutes of that. So that was fun. I'll talk about here in a second. And then I had this big work trip on Sunday, which I was kind of dreading. Like I've never really been on a work trip like this before. Even though my previous job was a bigger company, they never would ever do something like that. Like the best we could get was like, a snow cone truck to come out there. Well, yeah, the the memeable pizza party kind of thing. Even though it was backed by a bank, so it's like y'all can't give it. Anyways, so I was kind of dreading it just because like it's like a 3.5 hour trip on a Sunday. And then you have to you get to work. You have to go to the meetings on Monday, and then have to drive back Monday, and then I still had to work today. And I knew there's gonna be a bunch of emails and stuff like that. Which there wasn't a ton, which was lucky, but just I don't know. Going out of town, you always kind of dread it when it's not for fun necessarily. But yeah, other than that, it was a good weekend. I will say the one positive about being about 3.5 hours, I did bring my PlayStation Portal.
Nice.
Connected to the hotel Wi-Fi, and it worked.
Hell yeah, dude!
It was very cool. It was definitely didn't look as good. And granted, I'm on a hotel Wi-Fi stuff. Maybe if I was something like a Starbucks, so there's not that many people connected, it'll probably run even better. But it ran. There was some choppiness a little bit to it. But it worked. I probably played maybe 10 minutes.
Were you playing Metaphor?
Just to see if it would work. Metaphor, yeah. It probably wouldn't work as good for like a first-person shooter or something, or like a Bloodborne or Dark Souls or something like that. But in like an RPG on that specific Wi-Fi, it worked pretty good. So
I mean,
very happy.
I feel like with Portal, like you just have to pick your battles. Like I could see myself playing like Claire Obscure, taking that on the go, taking that somewhere. But wouldn't take.
Yeah, like I would never play like a Call of Duty or something on that if I'm playing competitively. Like it just wouldn't feel good. But yeah, happy that it works, and I know that it works. So when we go to Florida or to the beach or something, I can take that and play any PlayStation games on the go. So that is super exciting. I just mentioned Bloodborne. We just had the 10-year anniversary of it. PlayStation was radio silent as normal. Dude, couldn't even get a tweet out of them.
They're cowards, man. Like they really are. Like say it with your chest. Say you're not doing anything with it with your chest.
It really is insane that even if you weren't going to do anything, and clearly they didn't and aren't going to do anything with Bloodborne, to acknowledge like one of like the most beloved games in gaming in recent gaming history, and to not acknowledge, to not mention, it's crazy. It's insane. It's one of the best games on PS4. Yeah, just crazy. Insane.
I don't even know if it's their fault that like we don't have a remaster or a remake or something. I'm gonna blame them anyways. I'm still gonna blame them, even if it's FromSoft. That's
because they own the rights to that game, right? Like that they own it, right?
They still need to get someone to make it.
Do they though? What about Bluepoint?
Good, I guess.
But I'm saying like they if they wanted to, they don't need like Miyazaki's permission. I mean, they probably would want to ask.
They wouldn't want to burn bridges
to keep good, but yeah, but like if they were like, hey, we really want to remaster this, and if you guys can't do it, can we? And maybe they did say no. I mean, who knows? I don't know. We don't know, but it's still just. It's just weird because, like, we bitch all the time, about remasters and remakes, especially on the PlayStation side, because they do 3-year-old games that just don't need a remaster.
Yeah. But this is 10 years old,
and we can't get exactly, and it's like we can't get Bloodborne, but we get Days Gone, we get Horizon,
Until Dawn,
The Last of Us, like all good games and great games in their own rights, but it's like all those games have came out. And then except for The Last of Us, but like all those games came out within the 10 years. So I don't know. It's just a little frustrating.
Yeah.
Bloodborne needs justice.
Well, you got to persevere though.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to. But Nick, let's dive into what we've been playing. I will briefly talk about when my wife was getting ready on Friday. I put down Xenoblade because I was like, you know what? I was like, I got to give it more time than it deserves. So I put it down, and then I took my Switch downstairs. Then I was like, you know what? I'm kind of in the mood for some Pokemon. So I booted up Pokemon Gold on the Game Boy Color, and probably played it for like 45 minutes while she was getting ready. And I think it peaked there. There's just something different about this game.
Ethereal about it.
It just feels good, like in a way that the newer stuff, and I know that's a me and probably a you thing. I know there's obviously millions of other people that love the new stuff, but man, it still looks pretty good. Like it's still like fun to play, fun to battle. Like, yeah, it's take me back, man. Take me back.
I would love to play Heart Gold or Soul Silver.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a copy of that.
Yeah, the only problem is like Heart Gold. They're both like $200
Jesus.
At this point. It's a lot of money.
They need to do.
I thought about it doing it. This was like probably 6 years ago, and I think it was sealed, and it was like $100 or 150. And I should have got it.
Yeah,
but I didn't because I was like, man, that's expensive. And now like an unopened copy is $200. Yeah, damn. So, but yeah, I'll probably play some more here and there. Just something about just the Game Boy Color, man. It's so small in your hand. You can play it with one hand. I was doing that
just because you could, right?
Just because I could. Man, what a game! What a game! What a console! God. What a handheld!
I would love for them as a Nintendo to just release Red, Blue, Gold, Silver on Switch Online. Just put it on there.
Yeah, that would be great.
Why? I know why not. Because they can sell it.
Sell it to me. They had it on the Wii U, the eShop for $10. I bought it on the DS. I think the blue or red. I can't remember. I mean, it might have been yellow that I bought.
Did they ever put gold and silver?
I would spend $10. I don't think they did. Well, they can't get it now, but I don't think they did. I think it was just the red and yellow they put on.
They're stingy with that stuff, dude. It's so weird.
Yeah. I mean, as much as they love doing their remakes, like, I don't know. Maybe we'll get something on Thursday if that happens.
I don't know. I feel like we would have seen that.
The Swan Song.
We would have seen that at the Pokemon Presents.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know.
Hey, maybe.
Like you said, I would just love for them to throw like blue and red and yellow and gold and silver up on the eShop. Just let us play it.
It's easy.
And if you're going to remaster it, please remaster it with the same pixel art style and don't do like the garbage chibi.
Yeah, I'm over the chibi, but
stuff. But Nick, let's get to the big game of the week. Tell me your experience with Xenoblade. I am 2 hours in. You are much more. So lead the way, brother.
I'm 21 hours in. I'm in love with this game. I love the concept that it's a very simple setup. You're escaping Earth. There's an alien battle going on outside of Earth.
The opening cutscene was pretty hype.
Very hype. It's like you're kind of Earth is caught in the crosshairs of this alien battle, and Earth is like, I guess they knew it was coming, and they've created these like life holds, like these big ships, basically escape pods for like hundreds of thousands of humans. And like one of them managed to get away, and it was floating through space for a few years, and then the alien showed up again. The ship crash lands on a planet called Mira, and then the story kind of unfolds from there. You wake up as your character, your created character, and it's been 2 months since you've been on Mira. So
yeah, very, very like not long after they crash.
And I like that because cool. it gives like enough time for them to say, hey, like things have kind of been set up already. Yeah. So like it gives good like
we got explanation. This big ass city.
Yeah, we got the city. Like everything's kind of built up. We have our
which was already pre-built, like right. It was already
city was already pre-built, but they've established like their hierarchy, I guess, like with Blade and with the probes.
Got, like, the government
they've got all that stuff figured out. So like you kind of walk into it.
So back up 1 second, back to Earth. Was it 2 alien races that were fighting and Earth just got caught in the middle, or was it aliens attacked Earth?
I thought it was 2 aliens fighting.
Okay. And I think like the opening cutscene made it seem like it was just like aliens like attacked Earth, but then sometime after, when like you're learning about Blade and all that stuff, like they do mention 2 alien races fighting or something like that. So I think that's
anyone. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a case of 2.
Please.
So the main draw of this game, like you've seen it on the cover of the game, you've seen it in trailers, is the Skells, and those are the giant mechs that you get to pilot. You don't get to pilot them immediately. You start off exploring on foot, similar to like any other Xenoblade game, except with this one, it's open world. You can go anywhere from the outset. Like you don't even have to go into the city, New Los Angeles, immediately. Like you can explore as much as you want. And I was like 18 hours in before I got the Skell. So like you can get it relatively quickly. It's not as long as I thought it would be. And I did other like affinity quests and normal quests and basic missions. Like there are so many different types of quests in this game too. Like there's the story ones, which are like the story. There's affinity. Those are like voice acted quests for specific like party member characters that you can do. So those are important ones. There's the normal missions, which are just like standard missions that like are like written, like they have like written dialogue and that kind of stuff. And then there's the basic missions, which you get from the portal or whatever. And those are like generated. Those are like auto generated. So those are infinite in their capacity.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then there's like a million different like parts of the combat's pretty convoluted, but relatively easy to understand at first. And then there's like the mech combat as well, which is equally convoluted. And there's overdrive, which is like I don't want to get too in the weeds on it because it
if you played Xenoblade, I mean, all these terms are probably itching a spot in your brain. I will say for me, I'm 2 hours in. I just, for context of like where I'm at and like the story, I just fought the tyrant boss. I just set up like the first beacon whatever the probe. The combat has not clicked for me yet, I will say.
I think it will,
because it took a little bit for Xenoblade 3's. For reference, I've played a little bit of 1, just fell in love with 3. I mean, that 3 is so good. So I haven't had a ton of Xenoblade experience. But yeah, it seems, I don't know. It seems a little basic with what I have, but obviously I haven't opened up a lot. I haven't unlocked like all the stuff. But like it does, like in this game specifically, did the other games have where you could target appendages, or is that like something new to this game?
I think that's just this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because and then there's like there's like you in this game versus Well, then did they have guns in Xenoblade 3?
No.
No. Okay. Well, this one you have like full on like machine guns and stuff. I don't know what other maybe weaponry you get, but you start out with a knife and the machine gun. So like machine gun does less damage, but you're further away, and then the knife does more damage, but obviously you're closer and are higher risk of taking damage. And it still has like the front and the side attacks that I've seen, and some of your abilities will correlate with what side you're on and do more damage, right? Yeah. Kind of the same thing with Xenoblade 3, and I think the rest of them. Okay.
Yeah, and
it hasn't quite clicked yet for me, but I know it'll get there. I'm super early into the game, so
I think because I changed my class and I still have an assault rifle, but I have a longsword, and that I mean each class comes with its own set of arts. So I think just like finding something that works for you. Like for me, my setup is I'll start combat. I have an art that draws aggro to me, and then I immediately go to another sword slash that does extra damage if I'm aggroed. So like that's already a good combination. And then one of my party members has an attack that does break. So like in this one, you can break and then you can topple an enemy. Like if it.
See, I honestly, I kind of forgot about that, to be honest. About the breaking and stuff. So I don't think I have any arts that do that yet. I have seen like where they topple over, and that's when you can kind of get in and get a couple of hits in. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to let it, progress a little bit more.
I would say do some of the story missions and get to like chapter 4, which you can get to pretty quick. Like the story missions go by fast, but there's this new mechanic in the definitive edition that's called quick cooldown, and basically it's this little green bar at the bottom of your screen, and instead of waiting for an art to refresh, you can just press Y on the art and it'll use some of your quick cooldown meter, but you don't have to wait for the art to fully refresh. So you can kind of like spam a couple of attacks and your meter fully replenishes at the end of each battle. So it's like you can use all of it in one battle, but it'll come back in the next. And that makes the combat a lot faster. I think you get that in like chapter 3 or mission 3.
Okay. And I think like, and then I'll let you continue on with how far you've been into the game, but like and this is specifically for me, like in the very beginning, the two arts that I have on the right, the one that correlate with like doing the side like attack with your knife, those go red sometimes, and I don't understand why, because sometimes I won't use them immediately, and then they'll just go like red, and I can't use them. So I guess I either missed something or I'm not understanding why that's being negated.
I think it's because you're not close enough to the enemy.
Okay. That may make sense. Okay.
Yeah, I watched a couple of it because I watched when I unlocked like the overdrive mechanic, which is kind of like in Xenoblade 3. There's I can't remember what it's called, but it's like do you remember that overdrive mechanic in Xeno 3?
It was called overdrive, right? Like when you go into like the big like screen or whatever, and you're like trying to pick like moves that correlate with the other. I can't remember what like their specials. Yeah, like that. Infinity. Like that's such a cool system.
It's not exactly like that. It's like live. It's live. You don't go to a separate screen, but there is a similar mechanic where you like feed off of like different color combinations.
Overclock Buster, Overdrive.
Overclock.
I'm thinking
of OJ's.
Yeah.
But there's a similar mechanic that you unlock in like chapter 5 that really like expands your capabilities. And then I would suggest maxing out whatever class you're in right now. I think it's the Drifter. It's like the starting class, and then going to whatever the top class is. Like there's like 3 different tiers. I went the top route. That way you can keep your assault rifle weapon, but you get a longsword. And I feel like that's just like, for me, it was an easy class to play as, because you still get like the side attack stuff, and then you can kind of sprinkle in some like debuff arts and some buff arcs.
It sounds like that class may be getting it closer to like what you would expect from Xenoblade. Is that
Yeah, I mean, I
somewhat
think there's
accurate?
like other classes that are like dual sword. There's a ton.
Yeah.
There's a ton of different classes that you don't have to use an assault rifle if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I know I'm gonna have to give it some more time. I mean, I'm only 2 hours in. Like just I think it wrapped up chapter 2, so I'm super early. But yeah, I mean, the world is so cool. Like the lore so far is awesome. The scales look so cool. They do a really great job of like, you get to pilot a scale one day, but it's really hard and it's going to take a long time. You got to get your license. And it's like, man, I want to do it now. And I'm kind of glad they like, tease you and make you kind of wait. And it makes once you get it, I'm sure, like a lot better. And even when you get it, from what my understanding is, you don't really get the full effect until a little bit
That's
later.
right. Yeah. So
if you want to talk about that.
There are 5 continents, or not 5. Yeah, I guess 5 land masses. I've been to 3 on foot. Like throughout, like from chapter 1 until chapter 6, and like with all the side stuff, they kind of send you to those 3 continents that are like, you have Primordia in the middle, and then you have the 2 to the west and east that you kind of go to.
So it's all the big map you see in the beginning is the game.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like this, and then there's like stuff up here, and those are the ones I haven't been to. So you spend most of your time in those like first 3 land masses, and then when you get the scale in chapter 6, you get it, and that's great, but you can't fly it yet. So like you're kind of drawn by the carrot a little bit, and you could still like I just got to the 4th landmass. You can still get there without flying. You can just, I mean, you could run over there if you wanted to, but I drove over there with my mech. But they do like a really good job of saying of like giving you that itch to like get to the next thing. Like, oh, I got my mech. Oh, I want to get this level 30 mech that looks a lot better, and then I want to be able to fly. And then there's like the one that's in all the promotional material, like the new mech that looks like an actual space, like a spaceship that's flying throughout the sky. In my experience with the scale so far, like the sense of scale when you're standing on the ground and then you get into the scale, it's like the world like shrinks and you just feel ginormous. And it's so cool. And then when you get out, like it's almost like the perspective shifts. Like your perspective is a lot lower when you're on the ground. So the world like looks huge. And then you get in the scale and you're like, man, like this is unreal. Like I am like, cool. You feel like you're in a huge robot, and you are, but it's a really cool feeling.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I am slightly disappointed, and I don't want to say disappointed, but I feel like at this very point, I'm doing more damage outside of my scale than I am inside of my scale. And I think it's just because I don't have a very good one, and I need to like buy some weapons, buy some armor, or just like outright buy a new scale when I hit a like the level requirement for it.
Yeah, they probably have to like power scale the scale down a little bit to kind of just so you can still get that gradual increase in power over time instead of just being like a dramatic jump. Otherwise
you'd never leave.
You're probably never gonna have an incentive to like leave the scale. You're just gonna be in the scale the entire time. They probably don't want you to still shift back and forth,
Yeah. And then the other interesting mechanic about this is that you have scale insurance. And if you're fighting in your scale and you die and your scale blows up, number one, you have the opportunity to not use any of your insurance with a quick time event. And you only have like three insurance. So like if your scale blows up a third time, that's kind of it, and you have to buy a new one.
Interesting.
But mine blew up once, and I missed a quick time event. So I was like, "Fuck!" Like that was within like 30 minutes of me unlocking the scale. I immediately like went to someone that was over leveled, and I got blown up. But it's a really interesting mechanic. Like it makes you care about your scale. It makes you not want to obviously not want to blow it up because you'll have to pay $300,000 to replace it if you run out of insurance. But I don't know. There's like really cool ways to make money. There's all the nodes that you can plant, and then you could put in like mining nodes, and you connect them. And if you connect like 3 of the same ones, you can like mine more Meridium or mine or get more revenue. So like I would play around with that stuff pretty early in the game too, because it can get you a lot of money pretty early.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of mechanics to this game.
Yeah, I did see like I guess every time you like do a node, like there's 5 different points where you could. I saw one was like, oh, there's a chest here or something like that. There's a chest here. Then up here is
here's a tyrant,
another tyrant that's like super over leveled based off of my level. And then I think the other 2 were like maybe question marks, so maybe whatever it is, I just haven't unlocked it yet. So cool, man. I'm glad there's a lot. There seems to be a lot of interesting systems.
Yeah, there's
any you don't have to spoil anything specific. Is there any connections to any of the other games that you've seen?
I mean, universe-wise, like you see, this isn't a spoiler. You meet like another Nopon from from the other Xenoblade games, like those like furry creatures.
I mean, is that same specific same specific Nopon?
No, it's not the same one. So it's just like that race. So I guess it's like in the same universe, but so far no direct connection to any of the other Xenoblade games. There have been some cool revelation moments so far that surprised me, because I didn't expect the story to be that great. But I've been like pretty surprised.
Why so? I mean, I mean, all the other Xenoblade stories are pretty.
With the X, like
highly regarded.
It's kind of understood that this game focuses way more on exploration in the open world than it does with the actual story itself. So I think,
gotcha.
That was just like a takeaway from like Xenoblade X on the Wii U.
What
like,
you've seen,
like the story's not great, but all the side content, like all the side stories, like help build up the world, and that's what makes it good. That's what makes the story like serviceable. But I mean, I heard there's new stuff added to the story. Apparently, the Wii U version ended on a huge cliffhangers, and this resolves that. So I'm excited to.
That's cool.
Like continue this story.
See what that is. Yeah,
it's great, man. I'm
cool. Well, this is what Nintendo has obviously remastered just about every game on the Wii U and a lot of other games in general. But that's the one thing they do with these games is they always add something,
like some sort of extra content.
Whether it's on the level of like Bowser's Fury, or if it's something a lot smaller, but they always add like something new that like incentivizes. You may not want. I mean, someone who's played this game to completion maybe doesn't want to spend like another $60, and that's kind of a bummer if they want to see that added on content. But I think they do a good job of like adding additional content to the stuff that they've already, all the remasters and stuff like that.
Like even Xenoblade 1, like that one had Future Connected. I think that was around 10 hours of content. I mean, yeah, Bowser's Fury had, what was that, like 5 to 6 hours of gameplay? Maybe less.
It was probably more than that. I'd be curious to see what my because I did you 100% Bowser's Fury? Okay, yeah, I'd be curious. I guess you can get the shines pretty
quick.
Man, I want a sequel to that. That was so fun.
That was cool.
Anyways, but yeah, I feel like they do a good job with their remasters. Some are not so, like Donkey Kong Country Returns. Is there anything new in that one? I think they just kept in like the 3DS or DS port one. I don't know. But
a lot of remasters. That's where we're at.
A ton. But yeah, I don't really have more thoughts on it. I'll definitely have some more stuff to talk about next week for it as I get deeper. But I'm liking it so far. I'm liking the world and stuff. So
yeah, I would just really explore. Cool. Like, don't even worry about story stuff. I don't know. It's a cool world. It's a really, really cool world to explore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's jump into our topic of the week. We are going to be ranking every year of the Nintendo
Yes,
Switch.
we are.
So let me get that pulled up here real quick. So I'll apologize to the audio listeners, but you can always check the video out. The VOD.
We'll do our best to
YouTube.
verbalize where everything is at on the list.
So let me get this opened up real quick.
And this is years 2017 through 2024. So we got eight years here.
Yep. All right, Nick. So if you want to, I guess we'll just start. We're doing we're using the tiermaker.com. So we're doing S tier, A, B, C, and then D.
You want me to fire off 2017's games?
Yeah, so we'll start. Yeah, we'll just go through each year, fire off the big games from 2017, and then we'll decide where that belongs.
Let's do it. All right. I feel like this one's going to be a good one, but 2017 we have Breath of the Wild, 1-2 Switch, Mario Kart 8, ARMS, Splatoon 2, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Pokken Tournament DX, Fire Emblem Warriors, Super Mario Odyssey, Snipper Clips Plus, Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
This has got to be yes, right?
Yes. Between Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Xenoblade Chronicles
2.
That's an S tier year. We knew this was coming. 2017 was an unprecedented year for the Switch. They came out swinging.
Yeah.
In every way.
They had nothing for like 3 years, so it's they just saved everything up for this.
Yeah.
So it was an absolute banger.
I can't blame them. Like, I'm sure they had some games ready to go for the Wii U that they pivoted to the Switch because, why would you put Breath of the Wild on the Wii U in 2016 when you could put it on the Switch in 2017 and put it on the Wii U?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good start.
Yeah.
2018,
down here from here.
2018 had Bayonetta 2, Kirby Star Allies, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, Nintendo Labo, Sushi Striker, Mario Tennis Aces, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna the Golden Country, Super Mario Party, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I don't know if I care for this year too much.
I'm
not the biggest Smash Bros. Fan, and I got Ultimate and I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say it was a D year, but like maybe C.
Definitely a low C.
Yeah,
because Mario Tennis Aces, that was the start of an entire generation of bad Mario sports games. So I feel like that has to be
like
fun.
Mario sports games are never like, I don't know, they've never been like super super great in my opinion. I know they're kind of like well beloved on like the GameCube era maybe,
but they were like really underbaked.
they were some like they were very underbaked.
Man, this was a disappointing year compared to 2017.
Yeah, it was definitely a down year for sure.
I'm not, I don't want to say D, but it's giving me D vibes.
Yeah,
It's giving me D vibes, man.
Because even like Pokemon Let's Go was cool, but
like it,
it was another remake of the original gen, and I don't know if I cared for the art style. I would say D. Let's do D.
We can move it back later if we want, but let's keep it a D for now. Okay, so we have 2017 at S and 2018 at the very bottom at D. Okay, 2019, we have New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Yoshi's Crafted World, another Labo, VR Labo, Super Mario Maker 2, Super Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Tetris 99, Astral Chain, Link's Awakening, Ring Fit Adventure, Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's a good
And
move.
FYI, I changed it to F. I did S A B C F.
Oh, nice, good, okay, much deserved.
Repeat that list one more time for me,
Sure,
if you don't mind.
Mario Bros. U, Yoshi's Crafted World, Super Mario Maker 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Tetris 99, Astral Chain, Link's Awakening, Ring Fit Adventure, Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield. For me, this is an A. I mean, between Link's Awakening, Ring Fit, Tetris 99, Astral Chain, and Fire Emblem 3 Houses, that's a good chunk of games.
I am starting to question. I did not play the Switch that much between 2017 and
2019.
19. Yeah.
Did you not? You didn't play Astral Chain?
I skipped Astral Chain. I skipped Fire Emblem. I did play Tetris 99. That was cool. But it was definitely like one of those, like, you play it once, you play it twice types of games. Definitely played Link's Awakening. I really enjoyed that. And Luigi's Mansion 3 is like probably like one of the top 10 games on Switch for me.
Mm-hmm.
That game was just incredible. I don't know. I think you probably got a stronger case for A because you played most of those games on there, and I know you loved Fire Emblem. So.
I would fight for A. Mostly between Astral Chain 3 Houses and Luigi's Mansion 3. And honestly, Ring Fit, that's a banger too.
Yeah. And you know, I still have to, like, even though I didn't play the games, I still, you know, appreciate like how good. Yeah, I recognize how good those were. So
yeah.
I'm cool.
Okay.
I'm good.
Cool. All right, 2020. Let me go down to that. Okay, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE Encore, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, Paper Mario The Origami King, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Cadence of Hyrule, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. That's it.
I think I'm shooting like A for this one.
Really?
How do you feel about it?
I was between B and C.
Really?
Okay. What's pumping it up to A for you? Is it Animal Crossing?
I mean, I loved All Stars. Animal Crossing was good. It definitely, you know, I probably put 25 hours into Animal Crossing, and then obviously I stopped when I stopped, and didn't really have any desire to go back.
Clubhouse Games was pretty fun.
Yeah, Clubhouse Games was a lot of fun. That was, I think that was like kind of maybe a little bit of an underrated game. Yeah, I thought All Stars was really good, but you know, it's just a remake of those. Yeah, maybe B. I think you might be right. I think B is.
It didn't have, aside from Animal Crossing New Horizons, it didn't really have like a heavy hitter. Because it ended the year with Age of Calamity, which was good. But I mean, both you and I didn't finish.
It took us both a while to finish that game. Like, I think, when did that game come out? Like September, maybe, or October?
It was November, and we didn't finish it until the next summer, right?
Yeah, to the following summer. Yeah, we both finished it like that same week. I don't know. Maybe it is a C. I don't know.
But I will say, I had a lot of fun with Paper Mario. I had a lot of fun with Clubhouse Games.
Mario was fun.
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition was great. I mean, let's keep it at B. Let's keep it at B.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good.
And I want to give it an exception as well for pumping out that many games during COVID. That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. And we still got the 35th like anniversary that still happened.
Exactly.
You know, that was still really cool.
All right, let's go to 2021. This one might be a tough one. Okay, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, New Pokemon Snap, Famicom Detective Club, The Missing Heir, and The Girl Who Stands Behind. Miitopia, DC Superhero Girls, Game Builder Garage, Mario Golf Super Rush, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, WarioWare Get It Together, Metroid Dread, Mario Party Superstars, and then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Whew, man.
This would be, honestly, for me, this would be a D if not for, or this would be an F if not for Metroid Dread.
I mean, I really like Bowser. Like, I love Bowser's Fury a lot.
Yeah, Metroid Dread and Bowser's Fury, but like, really, like Miitopia.
Mario Golf Super Rush, which
sucked.
That was. I think I bought that. Did I buy that game?
I bought that game.
No, I think you bought that game.
I did.
Maybe I did. Oh, I think I did. Jesus Christ!
And then Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl, which was a disappointment. Very
much of a disappointment. How'd you like? I liked you. Let me borrow New Pokemon Snap for a little bit. I enjoyed it.
I thought that was good. I had fun. That was like a solid 7 out of 10 game.
What are we thinking? C tier?
We can do C. Yeah, I'm maybe being too harsh with F. Mostly because Metroid Dread.
But Dread was there too. Like,
yeah, Metroid Dread was there.
That almost wants me to bump it up to a B just because of that. But
hey, we can do it. We can put it low B.
It's good.
That's fine.
Low B. So say we've done each year. All right, low B. Okay. And I really like Skyward Sword. Like, they definitely
that was a good time.
Yeah.
I'm being too harsh. I saw Mario Golf and I got mad.
Yeah.
Okay, just to recap.
We are in
2017 at S, 2019 at A. We have 2020 at B, 2021 at B minus, and then we have 2018 at F. All right, let's go to 2022. Okay, starts off Pokemon Legends Arceus, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Nintendo Switch Sports, Mario Strikers Battle League, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Splatoon 3, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Bayonetta 3, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Okay, this is S tier for sure, in my eyes. Is this better than 2017?
I don't think it's better than 2017.
Do you think it's S tier?
For Pokemon Legends, Xenoblade 3.
Pokemon Legends Arceus, one of the best Pokemon games in a long time. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, and like the first Kirby game that I ever completed. Incredible game. Xenoblade 3 alone is just absolutely incredible. Yep. And then what else was on there?
Splatoon 3, Mario and Rabbids,
Splatoon 3, which was also very good.
Bayonetta 3.
Bayonetta 3, not my favorite Bayonetta game, but still pretty cool. This is also the first year of the booster pass for Mario Kart 8.
True.
That dropped that year. I don't know, maybe S minus or A plus.
I would be fine with A plus with above 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. This was a banger year.
Splatoon 3 was great. It was more of the same. Like Splatoon 2 and 3 were kind of like could really just kind of mush them together as one. But I did like the story mode that they created for that one. I thought it was cool. I was kind of done with the multiplayer more or less with Splatoon 3. Yeah. I didn't play it nearly as much as I did 2, which was a bummer, but mechanically it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think the only blemishes here are Mario Strikers Battle League and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And the rest of them were really good. So that's a great year.
Mario Strikers could have been, I don't know, that game should have been so much better than it just visually it looked really cool. And I don't know. Just again, like you mentioned, like just the Switch sports games have been pretty terrible. And Switch Sports was actually really cool. Like I enjoyed that one a lot.
That was awesome. All right, now we get into 2023.
Banger
year. It starts with Fire Emblem Engage, Metroid Prime Remastered, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Bayonetta Origins, Syriza and the Lost Demon, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Everybody 1-2 Switch, Pikmin 4, Pikmin 1+2, Detective Pikachu Returns, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, WarioWare Move It, Super Mario RPG.
I think this is S tier, and I think this is better than 2017.
Damn. You might be right.
I mean, Tears of the Kingdom, Fire Emblem games. Granted, I didn't beat the game, but it was still a very good game.
Metroid Prime Remastered, Pikmin 4.
Metroid Prime Remastered, Mario Wonder again, another one that I didn't finish, but I understand that it's a really great game. Mario RPG, a kind of a out of nowhere remaster. I don't think a lot of people expected that to be remade.
Yeah.
So
I would say
Pikmin 4, man. Like Pikmin 4 was so good.
The only thing that's missing is a 3D Mario.
Yeah, but every other year miss one.
Realistically, comparing this to 2017, let me get back to that list real quick.
That was Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade 2.
But then you have to think about the in-between game. Like it had 1-2 Switch, that's okay. It had ARMS, that was pretty good, but not great. It had Pokemon Tournament, whatever. It had Fire Emblem Warriors, that was a port. And that was really it. So I feel like 2023 was more stacked with really good, really quality games.
Hitters.
Yeah, big hitters. I'm on board.
How's that look?
That looks good. All right, so we have 2023 top S, 2017 S proper. We have 2022 A, 2019 A minus, 2020 at B, 2021 at B minus, and then 2018 at F. Nothing in C, but we'll see.
2021 is debatable at C.
Well, we need to revisit that one at the end of this.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into 2024. Another Code Recollection. Mario versus Donkey Kong. Princess Peach Showtime. Endless Ocean Luminous. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Nintendo World Championship. Emio. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Super Mario Jamboree. Mario and Luigi Brothership. This feels like a C.
It screams C to me.
Nothing bad here, except for Endless Ocean.
Yeah, all solid games. I still haven't beaten Zelda. As a huge Zelda fan, that's got to say a lot for that game for me personally. Thousand Year Door, incredible Mario RPG, but I fell off of it.
God, finish a game, Harrison. Come on.
Emio is fantastic. Come on now. Emio Spotlight Man is my first Famicom game, and I loved it a lot. It was in my top 10 games of last year. I still think it was very much a, and as Nintendo fans, we thought this was the last year and we were going to get Switch 2 maybe, at the end of, we thought it was going to get announced last year at some point, early last year. And then we thought maybe later. And then, looking at the games and how many games are remastered, we're like, okay, yeah, this is the swan song year for Switch. And we're, we've gotten one, here we are with Xenoblade Chronicles X, but yeah, definitely a very, very down year. Not the worst year, but not the best either. Not a good year either. Very mediocre, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. It has do
you think it should be higher?
No, I don't. It has franchises that you want, but not the games in the franchises that you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like a monkey's paw year.
I would have preferred Luigi's Mansion 1 remake versus 2. That's definitely the weakest one, I think, out of the trilogy.
Right.
Thousand Year Door is that's an incredible game. But I've already played it, so like I kind of knew everything about it just about. And then Showtime was like, I don't know, I just wasn't interested at all.
Yeah, I wasn't super interested in that one. Nintendo World Championships was fun for the.
Hey, Amelia,
that's fun when we played it, but I didn't really play it outside of that.
Yeah,
and then like I really liked Mario and Luigi Brothership, but again, it's not like.
Yeah, and I still have that game. I gotta play some more of that too. Yeah. But who knows, man?
Who knows, dude? I mean, we're coming up on Switch 2 territory, so
exactly, yeah. And we may get like an Oblivion remake drop next month, which is insane to think about, but that's a possibility. But
do you think that 2024 is worse than 2021?
Can you go through 2021 again?
I can.
Okay. That's the one I think we were both like,
Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, new Pokemon Snap, the Famicom games, Miitopia, Mario Golf, Super Rush, Skyward Sword, Metroid Dread, Mario Party Superstars, and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. I mean, this one had more disappointment.
Superstars was really good. I enjoyed that Mario Party game a lot compared to the others. I mean, obviously, we said what we said about Dread. Dread is one of the best Metroidvania games of all time. It was our game of the year that year.
Okay, let's keep it above 2024.
Yeah. It still wasn't like a fantastic year, but I thought it was solid. Yeah. It was a solid year for Nintendo.
I like this list.
Yeah,
I like this list. So to recap it,
it's good.
One more time for the people listening. At S tier, we have 2023 in front, 2017 in back. At A tier, we have 2022 in front, 2019 at the back. B tier, we have 2020 in front, 2021 in the back. At C tier, we have 2024. And then at the very bottom, we have 2018. What a terrible follow-up year.
I'm going to download this image. I had to create an account. I think I've got an account.
Nice.
Let me exit out of that. Okay. Sweet. Well, that was
good stuff.
A lot of fun. All right. Well, let's I think we'll post it up on Twitter and see if people agree with the list or not. And I'm sure nobody will agree, as people do on Twitter. All right. Let's we'll finish off with some quick news here. Indiana Jones, we already knew it was coming to the PS5 as of last year, but officially got a release date for April 17th. So less than a month away. PlayStation fan. I mean, if you don't have an Xbox or Game Pass or whatever, I think this is well worth it. It's a great Indiana Jones game.
Indiana
Jones game, and a great just I don't know, first person like exploration kind of game. Like there's a lot of combat, but you're not forced to use guns. It's definitely got its issues for sure, but I think it's a great game, especially if you're an indie fan.
Oh yeah.
Assassin's Creed, it has crossed 2 million players. This is just one of those things where if you live outside of the bubble of hellscape that is Twitter, they would tell you that this game is going to do horrible numbers and is garbage and woke and nobody's going to buy it. Yet it's one of the best selling Assassin's Creed games in a while. So here we are. A lot of people were excited about this game. Feudal Japan, that's what people have been wanting for Assassin's Creed for a long time. Do I think it took them too long to get here? I think so. I think this should have been done maybe 5 or 6 years ago at this point, maybe even earlier than that. There's just been a lot of games set in Japan here recently. I mean, just Ghost of Tsushima, Rise of the Ronin. So I mean,
they could have gotten ahead of all this.
Yeah, they could have gotten ahead of it and not been compared to those games. But that being said, I mean, the game's still reviewed really well. Seems like it's doing really well sales wise. Will this game save Ubisoft? I don't know.
Who knows?
At least it seems like it's a great game.
Yeah.
And then we will end it off. Oh, good. Sorry.
I was just going to say, this is crossing 2 million players as of last weekend, so it's probably higher. I mean, I could see it like getting to 3 or 4 million by the end of this week. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean, this is really good news. I mean, I think I don't know what they expected from this. I know it's like the second fastest selling Assassin's Creed behind Valhalla, and that one came out, in the middle of COVID. Everyone was playing games. Everyone had just bought new consoles, so they purchased a new game with that, and that happened to be Valhalla. So that was right place, right time. That's hard to beat, but it seems like this one is really doing like exceptionally well, which is good to hear for Ubisoft. Hopefully they see this as a success and not as a disappointment, but who knows?
It's Ubisoft, so they probably who knows? Maybe they're just happy it's doing well. And then to end off the news segment, a couple of Nate the Hate, which we were kind of on the fence about during when the Switch 2 was getting officially revealed. And then he ended up being right. So I think that kind of catapulted him in the upper echelon. I think he already was like
he's pretty prominent,
leaker, and pretty accurate, but I think people were just so on the edge with Switch 2 stuff, and not necessarily his fault. Also maybe his fault because he does talk about it a lot, but everyone on Twitter and the Nintendo YouTubers and stuff just constantly circling around the same garbage over and over again. And, who knows what's right? What is this right? Is this not right? Anyways, he said he has corroborated with other sources as well that there is definitely going to be a Switch 1 Direct this week or some sort of Direct. We don't actually know, and we won't know until Nintendo says something, but going by the past, Nintendo usually announces their Directs a day before. So by 9 or 10 a.m. tomorrow, we may officially have the news, but I don't 100% know if this is happening. Obviously, I think it could happen. This is the last Swan Song Direct. Get the rest of the games. Will Wind Waker be there? Will Twilight Princess be there? Who knows? What are your thoughts, Nate? Do you think this is happening? Do you think this is?
I think it's likely that it can happen.
Yeah.
They don't want to. Nintendo doesn't want to have to spend the Switch 2 reveal also revealing Switch 1 games like Twilight Princess, like Wind Waker, like you said, like Fire Emblem, Genealogy, The Holy War, maybe even something like Metroid Prime 4. Like that could be shown off at the Switch 1 Direct. It's a Switch 1 game. Maybe they show...
That would be crazy.
Maybe they like have a deep dive in the Switch 1 Direct and then just show like enhancements to the Switch 2 for the Switch 2 version, something like that. And then we'll probably see like that rumored Kirby Planet Robobot 3DS port.
Yeah.
I mean, like there are like 4 or 5 games left that they could show for the Switch that have been rumored for a long time. It would be an easy win. It would get people hyped up for next week. They would remind people, hey, Switch 2 event next week, a week from today, a week from tomorrow, like 6 days away, whatever. Like that, it's just could be just another marketing beat for them.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree. I think it's definitely possible that it's going to happen. Maybe some updates to NSO. We mentioned Pokemon earlier. Maybe that would be like a good way to end. Like get those games on there. Mm-hmm. People have been asking that for a very long time. Yeah, I don't know. Is Hollow Knight there? Probably not.
Do you see like any new game, like new Nintendo games announced for the Switch 1 in this Direct?
I mean, maybe. What Yoshi? Could they announce like Yoshi game? Maybe potentially. I don't know what that would look like. Maybe Yoshi hasn't really been like super prominent on the Switch I mean, they had Yoshi's Woolly
World.
What was it?
I think
Woolly, and that
Crafted World.
Okay. Crafted World.
Crafted World.
That game was okay. Like it was.
I played the demo and I didn't love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're just gonna wrap up some loose ends for the Switch.
Metroid Prime 2 remastered, maybe Prime 3.
Yeah. Bring that. I mean, that could launch. They could probably shadow drop those 2 games if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be kind of insane. What we could be playing 2 and 3 on Thursday. That would be crazy to think about. Would they do that so close to Xenoblade? And does that matter? Maybe not.
I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I don't think it. But they would probably do like shadow drop Thursday and then have the physical come out like sometime next month or something like that.
Yeah, like I feel like X
maybe I don't know if you I don't know if you mentioned it. Maybe a price drop at this direct.
Mm-hmm.
They announced like the official price drop going into next week. So I don't know. They cut the light down to like $99 or like $149. And then maybe phase out the other Switch and then drop the OLED down to 200, 250 maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Like my only thought about that is do they want to create more of a perceived disparity between the price of the Switch 1 and the Switch 2? Like let's say the Switch 2 is $400. You look at something like the OLED and you're like, well, I could buy the Switch 1 OLED for $350, or I could get the Switch 2. Or like you're looking at the Switch 1, like, oh, I could buy that for $299, or I could just pay $100 more and get the Switch 2. But if you're looking at a $200 Switch and a $400 Switch 2, like, do I need the Switch 2? Like what does it even have? Like what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that about really any console in the past, and like, I don't know. People, I mean, this thing is 8 years old. I think people.
I guess you're right. Yeah, whoever's buying it now isn't going to buy the Switch 2. Regardless.
Yeah. I think it's going to sell incredibly well at the get-go, just because there's so many millions and millions of gamers that have been wanting a Switch 2 for time and just excited about hardware in general, regardless if it's a Switch or not. So they already got those sales. I don't know if at 8 years in, on its 9th year on the market, like if they haven't bought a Switch now,
they're not going to be an early adopter for the Switch 2.
Yeah, or maybe they are. Maybe they said, "Oh, well, maybe I don't know. I didn't get a Switch. I passed up, so I'm going to buy the Switch 2." But I don't think. I mean, there probably is someone out there, but I don't know. You wait until the very last year for a Switch to actually get into, and granted, you have so many good games to play and to catch up on, so maybe that's an incentive and get it at a cheaper price. But at this point, I don't know. They're probably not worried about that. Someone picking the Switch 2 over the Switch. I mean, someone's had 8 years to jump in if they wanted to.
Yeah, at this point, it's like,
I'm sure there's somebody out there like that.
Let's focus on like the incumbent players, the Switch 1 owners, the dedicated players, and then we'll use those players and we'll use like their hype to expand our reach to people who haven't had a Switch, who maybe game on PC or game on Xbox or PlayStation exclusively. To like, they're basically doing the marketing for us of like, hey, like this thing runs Elden Ring portably. Like that's pretty cool. Like kind of like showing off the system for them. I think that's probably their approach of getting in.
Yeah.
And
maybe it would be just like this generation. Maybe they don't do a price drop, and maybe they just phase out the Switch, the OG or whatever, get rid of that one and just have the OLED at like $350.
Yeah.
And the Switch Lite at $200, and then they have the Switch 2 at like $400 or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be crazy to think about the Switch Lite being $99. Like that's weird to think about,
cool.
but
it's a crazy deal.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's never once had a price, like a permanent price drop, which is crazy. I thought last year would have been the time to do it, but
it still sold well.
I don't know. Still sold.
Yeah.
So
depends on how bad they want that 160 million
they'll get there.
to be the number one.
But PlayStation's they're gonna pull something.
Yeah, Jim Ryan's gonna come out of
we
retirement
found
and find some extra numbers.
we found a whole warehouse full of PlayStation 2s
We found another 5
that were
million.
technically sold to the warehouse, but like the store went out of business or something stupid. Oh, we found a Toys R Us factory or a Toys R Us store with 3 million Switch or 3 million PlayStation 2s in there.
They'll pull some bullshit.
Yeah,
no doubt.
That is like hilarious. That's I don't know. It's weird.
It just seems petty, but
it does. It does. But hey, what can you do? All right. Well, any last thoughts? Any more rumors or not rumors? Any more predictions you have for something that we don't know is announced yet, or that hasn't been announced yet?
Predicting something I don't know doesn't exist. I don't know.
Yeah. The ultimate speculation.
I really don't expect like anything crazy from whatever the Switch 1 Direct is going to be. I would like my base is like let's get Metroid Prime. Let's get Prime 2 and 3.
And I still think 4 has it's likelier to show up at the Switch 2 event next week.
We'll see.
Or maybe they do a trailer for Prime 4 and they say stay tuned for next week or something like that. That could be, and have like a more of a deeper dive with that.
Yeah. See, I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking deep dive at Switch 1 and then visual enhancements at Switch 2.
Okay. I mean, I could see that too. I mean, but yeah, it would be weird if it didn't show up here. But I don't know.
It's got to show up at one of them. that's always.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah, it has to. Either way, within the next week, we're going to see Prime 4, which is very exciting.
That's zesty to think about.
Super zesty. All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap up the show. We hope everyone enjoyed watching and listening. We greatly appreciate you. If you can review us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, that would be very helpful. Next week. So we had the delay in the episode this week just because I was out of town over the weekend. So next week we have our normal, unless something changes, have a normal Monday show. We'll probably do some Switch 2 event direct predictions. Talk about that a little bit. Talk about whatever news happens this week. Talk about some more Xenoblade. And then we're going to do a podcast on the 2nd that night, probably around the same time. And just talk about the Switch.
Just
2
debrief,
and all its
dude.
Gloriousness.
Just
debrief. Unwind. Yeah,
it's gonna be
a good time. And I'll probably throw that on the podcast feed too. So we'll have 2 podcasts this week essentially.
Yeah,
so
look forward to
very, very exciting. Nick, final thoughts before we get out of here.
Man, I hope everyone gets whatever they want from these 2 presentations. Whatever you're dreaming about, Animal Crossing, Pikmin, Metroid Dread sequel, whatever you want.
Imagine
Mercury Steam could be cooking.
They could.
It's been a few years.
They could be cooking.
Hollow Knight.
We'll see. I bet we'll get a Dread 2 next year. That could be because it came out in 2022.
21.
2021. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, that might be too much Metroid this year.
Yeah,
Dread comes out.
Yeah, yeah, and especially we're anticipating getting 2 and 3 before 4. So yeah, it's gonna be a great. No matter what happens, whether we get a Switch Direct this week or not, next week is gonna be fantastic. Can't wait. I mean, just a couple months ago, we're like, man, that trailer was so short. We just didn't get a lot of information. It's too long away, and here we are. Man, time just kind of.
Not gonna lie, it went by pretty quick.
It did.
Went by pretty quick,
and nothing really leaked either.
Yeah, like it was just on the manufacturing side.
Yeah,
nothing from the UI. Not even the UI leaked.
I mean, everything leaked up until the point of the reveal, and we knew what it looked like, and then ever since then, it's been kind of radio silent.
I'm starting to think Nintendo leaked it themselves.
Hey, I think I mean, I think that trailer did record numbers. So
yeah,
I mean, hey,
good
if
on
it
them.
worked, if it works, it works. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Bye
Bye.
bye.